I'm Dree and welcome to my channel, Celestial Angst. I'm so excited to be sharing with you guys my journey of creating my third doll ever. Starfire is a doll that I've had in the works ever since I decided I was gonna start making dolls. I'm just gonna throw in a little fun fact about this doll. I saw Meg the Stallion in her Halloween costume and I knew that that was the version of Starfire that I wanted to make. Of course I added my own elements because I don't think that Meg the Stallion had shoes included in her pictures. I think it was really just, you know, the top half of her body. So there's artistic liberties that I've taken, of course, with this version of Starfire, but overall, she's gonna be inspired by Meg the Stallion. I really believe that Starfire has been a huge inspiration for a lot of my life choices, including my hair. She's just one of those characters that stick with you your entire life, especially if you've seen the Teen Titans version. Not the Teen Titans Go, although I do like that version. Teen Titans is just the pinnacle of my childhood. So that's definitely my favorite version of Starfire. I just love this character. I'm very passionate about her. But definitely let me know in the comments which version of Starfire is your favorite iteration. I do have more planned this year. I actually have a New Year's resolution to try to get more dolls than I did last year. But without further ado, let's go and mutilate some dolls. So like I said before, Starfire has always been one of my favorite characters of all time. Ever since Teen Titans, I've been a huge fan. My initial inspiration is going to be her original outfit that she came out in. I really love the armbands that she was wearing in one of the pictures of her in her original outfits. Meg the Stallion's interpretation is going to be pretty much my base model and muse for this. But I'm also going to be referencing the boots from the original cartoon as well. And here is a sketch that I did that's kind of an amalgamation of the concept meshed together. So I'm starting off with this doll. I'm not sure what the make is. I think I got it from Target. I always start by cutting off the hair and prepping the scalp for, well, really the entire head to be removed from the body. So to do that, I have to remove the hair. I'm going to place her in a boiling hot cup of water. I place her there for about 5 minutes and then that softens the head and the glue so she kind of pops off a lot easier. Like, I don't know why I'm referring to her as she, but that's kind of morbid. But yeah, I'm scraping the inside of her scalp. This all sounds terrible. I'm scraping the inside of her scalp to kind of just pull out the hair. It's a lot easier than trying to actually pull it out one by one. And then I take my acetone to remove the face that was put on there by Mattel. Before I sculpt, I'm going to super glue the joints that I'm going to sculpt over first, which is usually the legs, knees, and ankles, but in this case I didn't need to do the ankles. So I'm taking my epoxy sculpt and mixing the two bonding agents together. I'm going to give this doll a lot more vavoom, if you know what I mean. We all know that Meg the Stallion is going to be the base model for this doll, so I need to make sure that she has meat in all the right places. I'm adding epoxy sculpt wherever she needs to be thicker. I'm very much a finger sculptor, so if you see me using my fingers a lot, it's because I'm getting used to clay tools, but ultimately I revert to my fingers if I just can't get the proper shape. But now I am adding some more Vavoomp to her chest because this Barbie did not come with enough. Now, after the body has been sanded, I'm sketching on the initial design that I want her armor to have, or outfit that she wears, suit, whatever you may call it. I'm sketching that on based on my sketch. This process basically is helping me guide where to set the clay instead of just putting it on there. I'm not skilled enough to just set it on there without any guidelines, so that is definitely why I set those guidelines for myself. Now I'm buffing and sanding the surface of her outfit because it is a little bulky. I kind of wanted it to have that armor look, so I don't mind it protruding off of the body. I did want it, however, to be a lot smoother, so I'm taking my nail buffer and I am sanding it down. I'm also going to be sanding it down by hand. I'm not sure if you can tell, but I waited until the top part of the body was completely cured before I decided to work on the legs. I have messed up a project by just trying to do the whole thing at once, and I've learned that it's better and easier and it saves a lot more time in the long run if you just wait for the parts to dry that you need to touch so that you can work on the next parts more efficiently. I recommend just waiting for the parts to dry, at least to where you touching them doesn't make an effect that's going to alter it. I'm taking my sandpaper, and this part I thought it would just be easier to do the rough sanding by hand. I'm doing that and working my way up to smaller grits. I'm not sure if I said that correctly, but I'm working my way up to smaller grits of sandpaper so that the blending is a lot more smooth. Now I'm taking some shoes. I actually cut the bottoms off from the original doll that I got because they were a perfect indentation of her foot. I sculpted the soles of the shoe in epoxy and basically just glued those onto the bottom of the feet with hot glue. Now I'm just sculpting over the foot to give the boot look that I'm going for. Like I said, this is going to be inspired by the Teen Titans cartoon, so I wanted to kind of reference that Starfire's shoe. Next is making the wig. So this is the first wig I've ever made for a doll. I didn't have the proper material for the wig cap, so I just used masking tape. Now I'm gluing on the wefts that I created off camera. I actually created these wefts with beauty supply hair that I had just on hand, so I used that to create the wig. And honestly, the hair was perfect for this project, and I'm so happy that I didn't have to source any. I added a little aluminum piece to the top and painted it red to match the hair, just so I could have that extra va-voom, because we all know Starfire, she's so extra in the way her hair looks, so I just wanted to make sure she had the volume without having to just keep piling on the hair. Making a wig is really fun, and I had a really good time just looking at it because seeing a tiny wig is so entertaining for some reason. So even though the hair already had the curls that I initially needed as far as volume, they didn't have the preciseness that I was looking for, so I took a heated up metal chopstick that I heated up with a hair straightener and just made the curls one by one. I had to separate some of them to make them set in place properly, but overall this method created the perfect scale curls for Starfire. I'm so proud of the wig that I created. So next is time for the base colors. I'm adding on the base color for the body, and this actually matched the original color really well after it dried. So I actually ended up painting the arms, but since I wanted to leave the arms made to move, I actually didn't end up needing to paint them, so I kind of wish I didn't do that in retrospect, but hindsight is 2020, and I guess we'll see how she turns out. I created the perfect color going onto the doll, but this color actually ended up drying a little bit darker than I was wanting, which I knew that for the skin, but for some reason, I guess I just didn't consider that much with the outfit. So I did end up going over it with an even lighter purple that I think suited the tone of what I was going for a lot more, but this as a base color was totally fine, and I think it added a good layer, you know, a good base layer, and initially it gets covered up anyway, as you will see in the future. So here is me. You can see me repainting it because it was just a little bit darker than I wanted, and it is a really pretty color, and I love the purple. It's one of my favorite shades of purple, but it was just darker than what I was initially going for, so I had to course correct that. I am now blushing the body. I actually didn't get a lot of footage of me blushing the body because I just had a lot of trouble keeping the body on camera while I was doing it. I'm going to try to do a lot better about that in the future, but I really love the effect that adding blushing and shadowing does for the doll's body. It adds so much depth and dimension, so I'm really happy whenever I'm adding on the shading. That's actually one of my favorite parts, even though I feel like I'm not that good at it yet, but I feel like the more that I do it, the better I'll get at it. I eventually went to get pan pastels, but they are so expensive for each color. So right now I'm just using some pastels that I got from Amazon that work great, and they get the job done, and the colors mix really well. Don't forget to always wear your mask in between sprays of Mr. Super Clear because that's very important. And I can't forget to add the resin glitter for the body just to make it pop and really look lively, like its skin glowing in the light. I also mixed some resin powders together, and I'm just spreading it all over the doll's outfit. This gave it the metallic feel that I was wanting it to have, the, you know, comic book metallic look. I actually ended up mixing the rest of the resin powder with the gloss sealant that I use, so it actually made it look even more metallic than this. Can't forget to give her, I don't even know what this is called. Is it I can't call it a necklace. It seems like armor, but I wanted this to basically be armor, so I'm painting it silver. I just accidentally made a circle dome with a hot glue gun, so I decided that would be a good method to make her gems or her crystals that she has on her body. And here I am, camera falling for the 1000th time. So I actually ended up painting the droplets that I made with a hot glue gun black, and then I put resin powder over them with a Q-tip, and then I also mixed the resin powder with the gloss sealant I use and put that over the gems, and that created kind of a nice gem look that I was going for. It wasn't perfect, but I like that I did it on my own, and I think it looks decent, so I'm gonna go with it. Now I'm gluing on the gems and their designated spots. I still not 100% sure about the one under her belly button, but I still think it's a good nod to her green gems. I really like the purple and the green together, so I'll leave it for now. I'm just going over with some black wash to give her neck piece a worn armor feel, doing the same thing with the soles of her shoes. So, the face. This is the scariest part for me, but I do feel like I am making progress with the face. It's something that I've learned that takes a lot of building and layers. So be patient and just wait out those layers while they're drying and reflect on what I'm gonna do on the next layer. I also need to invest in better colored pencils, and for my next project I definitely will have better, at least base color pencils, because I do think they will make a difference. But I think that me having the adversities that I'm having with the cheap color pencils ultimately just make me a better artist in the long run, because if I can do it with the cheap color pencils, then I can definitely do it with the pigmented ones and the ones that are a little bit more costly. I did a lot of contouring for her face because I feel like Starfire just, I don't know, she should be contoured. She should look snatched. So I definitely did a lot of contouring and highlighting on her face. Also, I'm sorry about the angles that you're getting of me doing her face. I'm just not good at keeping the doll at a consistent angle yet, especially whenever it comes to the face, because it's such a novel thing to me that I have to have it at the angle that I need to have it at to get the precise thing that I'm needing to complete. So
I'm sorry about all of the crazy angles of the doll that you are probably seeing every few seconds. Here I am going in with my micro brush with acrylic paints to make some of the colors pop a little bit more. I'm going in with Elmer's glue and gluing on the lashes. These are individual lashes, but they have about, I think, 3 to 4 pieces of hair on each one. I glued each of those and waited for the glue to get tacky before I just straight up went in with it because I don't want them to fall too much. And then I glossed up the lips. For the armbands, I'm taking some really thin wire and just weaving it onto her arm. And this is the part where I think I kind of messed up in painting her arm because it kind of scraped off the paint a little bit. I googled that Starfire's favorite color is pink, so I painted her nails pink, and it also referenced her in some of her comic book looks. Putting on the wig was extremely satisfying, especially because it was my first one and how big it is.